Tattva. Ganesha, though resides in the Mooladhara, gradually evolves to be Christ at this stage. From that red chakra up to this chakra, he becomes Christ. He is the principle. Now, what is the principle? Within us, what is our principle? Is, say, the Kundalini, you can say. In this, the electricity is the principle of this one is. In the same way, the creation, the whole creation, if you take it as such, it is the principle and the support of this creation. He represents the essence of creation. Christ is the essence, is the Tattva itself. He is the Omkara, as they call it. He is the first sound that was created, Om, when the primordial father and primordial mother separated. They created this sound. And he is that sound which is filled into all-pervading power and looks after and supports. Actually, it is more the support, because looking after is done by the father, you can say, or by the mother, but is the support of all the universe. And because he is just the essence never dies. Say, my essence is my spirit, it will never die. The body dies, all the creation will die, but the essence has to be there. If the essence is lost, then nothing could be there. That's why he is the most important incarnation, because he is the support. Now this incarnation is placed in this Agya Chakra of ours. Here, in the center, where the optic nerve or optic thalamus cross each other like this, in the center is a very subtle point, which moves both the sides like this and like that. And it creates two sounds, hum, ksham, hum, ksham, hum, ksham. Hum is on the right hand side where you have seen. The superego is there. And ksham is on the left hand side where the ego is. Now these two sounds create two kinds of vibrations. The hum sound creates the vibrations which make you think I am. Hum, I am. This comes from our existence power, that we know we have to live in this world. We are not going to die. Any human being who tries to kill himself is abnormal. Normally, every human being, every animal or any living thing tries to retain its life. That is through this power of hum, that I am. Hum is on the right hand side where you have seen. The superego is there. And ksham is on the left hand side where the ego is. But now I'll tell you about the right hand side, superego. In this superego, when you are conditioned by so many things, then you are frightened and you are worried, because these experiences make you that type of a person which has fear in the mind. And this fear is all settled in your superego. This starts from your amoeba stage, you can say, and is still today is being stored there. You are afraid of police, you are afraid of that, you are afraid of this. Some people are not afraid of these things but are afraid of something else, because whatever have been your conditions, whatever have been your experiences are all put down here. Moreover, say somebody reads the book of Dracula. Now he is afraid of the word Dracula. But the children who do not read, They do not know what is a Dracula is. If you say Dracula has come, they said, all right, let's have a look at him. But those children have read about Dracula, they are literally frightened and they say, oh God, Dracula is coming, something terrible is going to happen. So, you see, whatever you have read, whatever you have gone through, whatever experiences you have had, all is in the superego. So this superego, in that this center sends message, I am, you are, hum, don't be afraid, you are. So the people who come to me, you have seen some people who come to me are victims of superego conditioning. And these are the people, actually at this stage only you can really discriminate between the two types. One who are very aggressive, the other who are absolutely, we should say, subordinated, frightened. These people, when they come to me, I have seen they go on crying and weeping, mother, this has happened, that has happened, and I really get tired talking to them. And there are so many of this kind that really you have to pay attention to them as Sahajogis, because you will have to deal with them, how to manage them and how to work it out. Now at that time, if a Sahajogi says, now you go on saying hum. A Sahajogi, if he says, then the vibrations will drive out his fear. Even if you are under any fear and you are walking around and you feel that there's frightened, you just say hum. Now, with this saying, the vibrations will clear out this side very nicely. Apart from that, that is the way you can get help from the divine, by saying hum.
So today's understanding should be that we all should become collective from inside. We should not grudge or grumble about it and enjoy the collectivity. But the second side of collectivity is this, that do not try to exploit the collectivity. Otherwise you will be in trouble. Like I've seen some people don't know how to use their bathrooms. When you are collective, you have to be respecting the collectivity of others. By your presence, another person should not by any chance suffer, or should not feel in any way insulted or inconvenienced. So when you are in the collective, it should be such that another person should enjoy your company, enjoy your being there. That's something where there is no problem. But if you are demanding and if you are asking for things and you think no end of yourself, you can not at all collective by any chance, but you will suffer for that. Automatically you will suffer. If this is realized and understood properly, your aga is solved. Like anger. People always boast, I'm very angry with you. Boast. But just make that anger into forgiveness. And you'll see the person, instead of you getting into problems, he will get into problems. Anger will upset you, but forgiveness will upset him automatically. It's the biggest weapon you have got is to forgive. And this is shown in Buddha's character throughout. And this will give you self-respect. That you are not disturbed by anything. Like a ship has to be seaworthy. If you put the ship on the sea and if it breaks, what's the use of making a ship? What's the use of a Sahaja who gets disturbed at every moment? You have to be seaworthy. And if you are seaworthy, nothing can disturb you, all right. The elephant is walking and the dogs are barking. All right, let them bark, what does matter? The elephant looks this side like that, sometimes takes some water and blesses them with water. All right, quieten down, so that your head will be cooled down. That will give you self-esteem, and you will know what you are much higher than others. And this is what is how to get rid of your ego, which is a very, very big problem according to you people. But then how to get rid of ego. Ego can be said, you go. When this I-ness goes away, the self rises. What is there to feel hurt? What is there to feel bad? What is there to hurt others? All right, you are cheated. Very good, at least you have not cheated anyone. Be happy about it. But once you are without ego, means you have surrendered yourself. No one can cheat you. Can you understand that? No one can cheat you. Because there is some higher force which is looking after. This is the way we should understand Buddha. This is, we should know our Buddha qualities. This is how our ego can be dissolved. When you say, Mother, we surrender to you, that just means that you give this horrible ego a complete holiday. It means that. That is how this ego disappears. And I think all your just now, ragyas are open out, most of you, somehow. And then you laugh at everything. You make fun of yourself. Just enjoy everything. May God bless you.